Greetings and welcome to another ObeLive episode. I want to start by saying hello to Jeff Gashead. Great to see you in the live chat tonight. He also makes reference of his love of golden syrup, which is tonight's thumbnail. Yeah, of course, tonight's stream is called Sweet, another ObeLive. I hope you agree with that sentiment. Yeah, we are gonna. I come across a headline about Lyle's Golden Syrup. Aren't they called Tate and Lyle? I'm not sure. Yeah, Lyle's Golden Syrup, and apparently they've changed the logo for the first time in their 160-year history. I'm not sure how familiar some of you are. You might have come across this, but it has angered some people. It's annoyed a few people. Is that the case? Or is it just a publicity stunt for Lyle Golden Syrup? Yeah, we're gonna get on without further ado. I will of course start by saying, yeah, if you're tuning in and you want to say hello in the live chat, it's always appreciated to know you're out there. And yeah, big thanks to Jeff Gashead for taking part. Okay, we're going to turn off our background audio and I will share our display. That's the wrong page, of course. Yeah, Lyle's Golden Syrup. Spread a little happiness. Let me just see if we can put this into a more readable format. Yeah, apparently Christians have attacked Lyle for changing the logo of the, very famous Golden Syrup. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the significance of the actual logo they use, as it is a reference to it's a reference to Samson killing the lion. And I thought, what a great opportunity just to make anyone who's not familiar with the account found in the Holy Scriptures of Samson, then, in tonight's stream, we'll refresh your memory. Part of me is wanting to say Deuteronomy, although I'm not 100% sure that's accurate. Okay. Apparently, depiction of lion and bees from Samson's story has been sidelined despite being the oldest continuous logo in the world. That is how this headline starts. The Church of England members, bear in mind the Church of England, I was, as a child, as a baby, christened into the Church of England, so a priest of some sort held me by a font and dipped his finger in a bit of holy water and crossed my head with it. The cross isn't actually despite having it tattooed on my arm, which is, I was got to say it's a regret. The cross isn't a symbol I personally worship myself. Worshipping symbols and images, particularly of death, are again not recommended in the scriptures, you could say. The company has replaced the image of a dead lion being swarmed by bees with a more modern depiction of the animal's face and a single bee. So the lion and the bee is still a reference to Samson in its first rebrand in almost 150 years. The product's dark green tin and golden lion packaging is a reference to the story of Samson killing a lion, and the original logo includes the biblical quote, "Out of the strong came forth sweetness." Now, that is a riddle. He challenged the Philistines to, if they could work out what his riddle meant, then he would give them 30 garments, and if they couldn't, then they had to give him 30 garments. Unfortunately, in the account, I'm sure it's Deuteronomy. We will find out before the end of this live stream. I will tell you what book the book of Samson comes from, unless anyone in the live chat knows. Bible U, great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. It's in Judges, of course it is, chapter 13. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I'm currently on the book of Joshua, I guess I would call him. And the previous one to that was Judges, so of course it is. It just got to the point in the chapter where the Israelites are demanding a king rule over them, and despite Samuel prophesying that, you know, your king's you're gonna have to give him a tenth of everything, they dismiss him and they demand a king. And so yeah, we're just about to find out, just getting to the point where Saul is chosen because he stands out among the people. Yeah, that is in the translation I'm currently reading. Yeah, Lyle said the branding created by the product's founder, Scottish businessman Abraham Lyle, has been revitalised for the modern UK family. Does the modern UK family not appreciate the relevance of a dead bee with a swarm of bees around it? To refresh the brand's legacy and to appeal to a 21st century audience. However, it has angered some traditional Christians who are calling on the company to rethink the decision, saying that they feel there is perhaps no longer a place for Christians in the UK. Make a note of who's making this statement: the Church of England. Again, Christians isn't a term I would associate myself with. Of course, I accept Yahushua as the Messiah, but I consider the name Christian as a pagan, too many pagan references, as it were. It's associated with Easter bunnies and Father Christmas. It's not in the least bit biblical. So, not to say anything found in the book from Matthew through to Genesis is in any way pagan, but how it's been taken on by our generations, I would say, is just absolutely, steeped, like syrup, like golden syrup poured all over something. It's absolutely entrenched in pagan, pagan literature and all sorts of other things. Yeah, Tate and Lyle, which owns, it is Tate and Lyle, but they just call it Lyle. Gotcha. Apologised for upset caused and said religion played no part in the decision to change the branding. Ditching tradition. Sam Margrave, a member of the General Synod, the Church of England's legislative body, said Bible stories have appealed to families for millennia. Then how can they make the decision that a place for Christians in the UK? It depends, I guess, what you consider Christians. People that, there's a much bigger subject than golden syrup, which we will have to save for another subject. And of course, that is Yahushua, God himself in the flesh, or is he the Son of God? But we'll avoid that subject. Yeah, so right, there's nothing modern about ditching tradition or sidelining Christian messages. Of course, tradition being something of the past, modern being the present. I guess you could call it. I guess you could say they are, in a way, ditching a narrative, a biblical account. But that the Church of England are offended by it seems a bit unusual to me. I mean, Shrove Tuesday, try finding this word in the Holy Scriptures. I do not believe you will. I enjoy golden syrup with my pancakes on Shrove Tuesday every year. I'm sure the Lyle business doesn't mind benefit from the sales and Christian branding every Easter. You think Easter's got, again, is every bit, drenched in paganism as a pancake drenched in golden syrup. I always preferred lemon, I like lemon juice squirted on it, but each to their own, of course. I will have a look at the live chat. I'm not going to lose that. Oh, let me take off our Welcome to ObeLive's logo. Right. Do I need to just line up my display a little bit as well? I don't know. I think that would do. Jeff says he's been to the Tate and Lyle factory and the staff were very happy, I noticed. Okay, that's interesting, because I've got to say I never noticed that the lion on the bottle, on the jar of syrup was actually a reference to the scriptures. I never looked closely enough. Right, okay, sorry, carrying on what the people of the Church of England complained about. So why do they feel the need to eradicate their connection with the Christian founder's iconic logo, which tells a story that works for every generation? You know, I agree. I don't disagree with this part of it. The first part, though, where they're going on about Shrove Tuesday and Easter, makes me shudder. Makes me disappointed that I had that water dabbed on my forehead as a baby. My Muslim, Jewish, and friends of other faiths loves that we are a Christian country. Again. Okay. And have a Christian heritage. Let's celebrate our stories and history. Of course, the story of the Church of England is quite a kind of, I don't know if you call it pathetic. I think that's the word I would go with. It was a church created so the King of England could divorce. Hang on, where's our logo? Just lost it. And of course, anyone that happened to be members of the Catholic faith, which was the dominant belief system in England, according to the history books, of course. I didn't live these times myself, so I can't give a personal account of it. But as we're told, Roman Catholics were basically wiped out. And the Church of England was put in place so that, the King of England could get a divorce. How crazy. What a proud church that must be. Right, Andrea Williams, Chief Executive of the Christian Concern, said the Bible is the source of hope and joy and inspired the founders of the company to make the best syrup in the world. I don't believe that. The signature verse of Tate and Lyle's golden syrup points to the eternal. Although it is great, applaud to Tate and Lyle for, at least for the last 160 years, making reference to the book of Judges. They have traded the enduring appeal of their brand for a momentary fad. It's not worth it, and it's very sad. The book of Judges details Samson killing a lion with his bare hands before returning to the carcass a few days later to find a swarm of bees that created a hive in its body. In the story, he takes the honey from the hive and feeds it to his parents without telling them where he got it. He later asks his guests at a wedding to solve the riddle. Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet. Which, again, isn't quite the verse. I'm going to check the live chat and see, because I know Bible You in the chat have told us where we can find the account. Chapter 13. Let's see what their version of the riddle was. I suppose it's a lot easier just to look it up. Right, chapter 14:13. Yeah, he challenges them 30 sheets and change of garments if they work out his riddle. And out of the altar, in the King James translation, we've got, out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And within 3 days they couldn't work out the riddle. And Samson, story of his life, was betrayed by a woman who, it was his wife who he was going down to the Philistines to, take as a wife. And in the end she convinces Samson to explain the riddle, because the people of the Philistines threaten her that they'll set fire to her father's house if they don't, if she doesn't find out the riddle, then they're going to basically burn out her home. So she does manage to convince Samson, and when he, and of course, when they tell him the answer to the riddle, in order to give them their 30 garments, he goes and slays 30 Philistines and takes their clothes. Obviously, in the account in the book of Judges, Samson is eventually betrayed by, I'm not sure if she's listed as like a prostitute in the book, but he certainly was linked to visiting prostitutes, Samson. Yeah, very colourful character, and in the end he gets his eyes gouged out, but by the Philistines, and his but when you hear what Samson did to their people, you know, as much as I think that's vile, gouging out someone's eyes, you can kind of see why they would have such a harsh punishment for him. But anyway, Bible U says the etymology of Easter, and not fair to only say Ashtar. Okay, I just shared a link, we'll have a look at that in a minute. And yeah, Jeff mentioning visiting factories. The only one I remembered visiting was the Guinness brewery in Dublin. Well, I was fortunate to go for a week, I think I spent there. I say fortunate, the company wasn't great, but yeah, we were very fortunate to be able to have a look around Dublin. And got to go around the brewery. And apparently I remember them telling us there's something similar to Marmite was invented when they, from the scum that builds on the top of Guinness, they can scrape off, and it's very similar to like a kind of crude version of Marmite, I think. Thanks for the comments, Bible U. I do my best to keep up with them. I'll certainly have a look at that link you shared with us. So, before we completely move off the subject of Tate or Lyle, whatever they're called, getting rid of their branding, we'll just sum it up. Let's see. Okay, apparently the rebrand will take place across the whole range, excluding the classic tin, which will retain the original illustration. So they're not actually getting rid of it completely. That lion there, this is what all the fuss is about, will still remain. Wow, that wasn't a very good screen grab. See if I can do a better one. No, why not? Weird. Yes, so it's not going away completely. I don't actually see on... Do they say on the tin it has that logo about out of the... out of the eater coming something sweet. Okay, yeah, big thanks to Bible U. Paula, I know you're more commonly known as. Let me know which you prefer to be known in the when I refer to you as. Easter, since we did reference that, something the Church of England Council consider Christian, is from the Proto-Germanic Austrian Dawn, or known as Dawn, possibly the name of a goddess whose feast was celebrated in Easter Monad. The Anglo-Saxon can correspond in with April, towards the sunrise, and especially of the dawn. Right, I do hope you can see the text. Let me see if I can make it a bit more readable. Yeah, wow, wonderful information actually. BD writes that the Anglo-Saxon Christians adopted her name for their masses of Christ's resurrection. Almost all neighbouring languages use a variant of Pascha to name this holiday. Easter eggs is a pagan custom of Easter, seems to have grown popular in 1900 before they were limited to German immigrants. So, yeah, absolutely nothing to do with the Holy Scriptures. Yeah, thank you, Bible Youth, for sharing that one. And you mentioned a couple of other verses. Bible Youth says Christian is in the New Testament, sorry, the NT, twice. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, certain translations I notice in, where is it? Possibly in, let me think. I'm trying to think whether they first used the word Jew in the Holy Scriptures. For a long time they're called Israelites, and then they're called Hebrews. Every so often comes up. And then there's a very certain point where the word Jew gets inserted into it, which is curious. Bible you mentions Acts 11:26 and 26:28. Talking of tattoos, actually, I'm giving away some identifying information about myself, but I doubt many of you will ever get close enough to see it. Yeah, I do have a verse of Acts. Sorry, yeah, I mentioned getting a cross tattooed on me earlier, and I also got a verse, Acts tattooed on next to the cross. 11:26. We'll have a look for that. Yeah, I will of course share the link that Paula left in the live chat in the description of this evening's video, in case you're not watching it. In case you're not watching this stream live. Let's see, first answer on Bing. Yeah, one translation I am very impressed with, and I've mentioned it a few times, is, let me find it, Yahweh and the Torah. And they share a huge amount of information on this website. I've shared links to it plenty of times. The guy who does it has a couple of YouTube channels up called, well, it's a family that keep this website going, but the guy on YouTube is called Jason. Right, link in the chat, and will also be in the description. Yeah, Scriptures, first edition, revision 5, and you can jump to the book you want to go to. So we'll have a look at the book of Acts. Let me see. Which in the original Hebrew would have been either Hebrew or Greek, Maasa, which is Acts of the Apostles by all accounts. 11:26. We'll get there in a minute. Yeah, you can download this as a PDF, but my computer seems to open it in the web browser anyway, so getting it from the link is just as good. 11:26. Then Barnabas went to Tarsus to seek Shaul, which is Paul. And having found him, he brought him to Antiochia, and it came to be that for an entire year they came together in the assembly and taught large numbers, and the Talmudim were called Meshaayim, first in Antiochia, which is Antioch. Right, what's the first result on Bing? He brought to Antioch. So for a whole year, Barnabas and Saint and Saul met with the church and taught great numbers of people. The disciples were called Christians first at Antioch. Brilliant. Okay, yeah, it's worthy, making a worthy comparison. And the Talmidim were called Mashayim. So, yeah, this would be in their original language. What the name, I don't know. But, yeah, by all means, make your comparisons. Great to see Mudlark digging up the Thames in the live chat. Thanks for joining us this evening. So I haven't made this very large, have I? Yeah, we'll be bringing our stream to a close very shortly. I try and keep these live streams now down to about 30 minutes. So yeah, there are other stories. I used to do a much longer live stream on a Sunday, where if I'd been going for the whole night, I would have touched on this. I left a reply to this tweet. Apparently, the first, how is it they call it? Hang on. The first privately owned spaceship or spacecraft aims to make a moon landing. Now, how private do you think this is? It blasted off from Cape Canaveral using SpaceX, and has then performed a series of maneuvers. 62, get their numbers in, about the size of a British phone box. Yeah, what do you think they will give us? That is easier to read, but on the original website you do get to see the pictures. What is that in the corner just there? Of course, it's a NASA logo. You can just about make it out in my low-res display. Yeah, it is NASA. And this is, of course, completely cartoon. There is no camera on the side of this spacecraft the size of a phone box. Doesn't exist. Look at this. They love their gold foil. I remember hearing that said. Intuitive machine. Odysseus spacecraft will attempt to land on the moon. I did like the illustration they used in the tweet. Yeah, this is the one I left a reply to. Intuitive machines, there they are, all like celebrating some computer graphic that they've shown. Yeah, completed its scheduled 408-second main engine lunar orbit and is currently in a 92-kilometer circular lunar orbit. Initial data indicates that the 800 millisecond burn was completed within 2 milliseconds accuracy, or minutes per second, whatever. Either way, it's total nonsense. How can they confirm these numbers? I mean, what sort of equipment is it that's telling them their spacecraft is completing a 92-kilometer... There's my one. I know. Where's it gone? Here it is. Space is fake. You can't have a gas pressure, air we breathe next to a vacuum without a solid barrier. I was going to put something along the lines of, if the gas we breathe can't get to the moon, then how can anything else? But I thought I'd just keep it simple. Not that anyone ever sees my tweets. But yeah, if you are on Twitter and you want to follow me, there are links in the description of this evening's video, just to let you know before we close out. Yeah, I would recommend you take a look at the links. Hang on, this is tonight's video. If you go down into the description, there's a whole heap of links to Twitter, 153 News, BitChute, ebooks, Instagram, TikTok even. Yeah, I would highly recommend and applaud anyone that took the time to have a look on Insta. Right, we'll certainly have a look on the live chat before we finish up in a minute. Bible says it's in the Greek text too, Christianos. Okay, the name Christian is in the Bible. Maybe I might have said it wasn't, I'm not sure, but yeah, you're absolutely right. In the translations that are used in this country, 100% the word Christian is in the Holy Scriptures. I don't disagree with you on that. Yeah, I know you're very knowledgeable on the subject, and you've got some great stuff, put some great content out. So yeah, I highly recommend anyone checking out Bible Use channel. Let me just see if we can go to it via the live chat. Hang on. Okay, yeah, of course, links will be in the description. Although I gotta say, I feel kind of bad not not sharing the links to everyone who's in the live chat. Just that Bible U happened to share some information, but I know all of you in the live chat most of you you've all got channels, and most of you upload content yourself. Yeah, we of course went to Mudlark's channel last week. Yeah, I would certainly get yourself over there and see what kind of content they're putting up. Sorry, didn't have the display up, my apologies. Right, I'm going to have a look in the live chat. Well, we've only had a few of you here this evening, Bible U, Mudlark and Jeff, but yeah, I massively appreciate you guys taking the time to comment in the live chat. Of course, I've got to admit I'm not able to fully interact with it on these streams, but I do often, when I finish the stream, I take all the links that I've shared and put it up in the description, so I do see all the comments after the stream. So occasionally I miss someone who might have popped up and said hello. If that is the case, then yeah, let us know before we finish. And yeah, if you're watching this after I've done the live stream and you want to share any thoughts you have, particularly on Tate and Lyle, well, their rebranding, is it just a publicity stunt? Or was it just an opportunity to have the Church of England say Christianity has no place in British, in British families? Let us, share your thoughts. Yeah, and of course, I wouldn't want anyone to come away thinking that I've got any, I don't have anything but appreciation for anyone that chooses to acknowledge our Creator. Whether you and I may have different approaches to it is completely irrelevant. It's great to know that I'm not the only one, as it were. Mudlark says nothing interesting on my channel. See, I see that as a bit of a challenge, that you're saying let's find something interesting on Mudlark's channel. I'm pretty sure I've seen some interesting stuff, Mudlark. Let me have a look. Hang on. Of course, one of the interesting things you put up, of course, the coin with King Charles on it, which as of today, I still haven't come across anyone. Oh, I haven't come across one. Not that I spend that much time looking, but where are you? Why can't I find you? Okay. Alright, we're going to turn on the display one more time before we finish, and yeah, then we're going to start closing out. I disagree, Mudlark. You've got Genesis on there. And yeah, I did think this was quite a humorous video as well. So if I haven't...
The only reason I didn't put the thumb up was I was so I could do it in this live stream. Yeah, that's quite a humorous argument going on between a man in a dress. Crazy stuff. But yeah, it's, there's some good stuff on your channel, Mudlark. I disagree with that statement. Right, okay. And what was the other subject that we could have looked at? Yeah, there's a few things I would have covered. And this is the sort of thing that sort of makes me wish I did, still did my Sunday streams, which are much longer. But I'm not ruling out doing a Sunday stream at some point. At the moment, I'm happy in the routine of I'm happy, doing my Thursday evening streams, and I do try and do a couple of uploads in the week. If you haven't come across them, then check out my channel. Okay, I think this is where I'm going to put the background music back on, which is our cue to, say thanks to everyone who has tuned in this evening. Can you see that properly? I hope so. Okay, hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Something I try and say at the end of every Thursday stream: make sure you observe a day of rest. We're all entitled to having a day where we don't indulge in laborious activity. So yeah, Sabbath day starts sundown tomorrow. I would strongly advise observing it. It does give your week a really brilliant kind of setup. One I couldn't, by sundown on Saturday evening, I'm bubbling with energy, and it's appreciated because you've had a rest. We all should do it, right? Okay, thanks to Mudlark, Bible U, and Jeff Gashead for commenting tonight. Thanks for anyone else who's tuned in, and if you want to show your appreciation for this stream, then I would ask you to hit the thumbs up button before you leave, as well as sharing and subscribing, checking out the links in the description as well. That would be another way. And of course, there's a few names I have to say thank you with, because without people showing support, I wouldn't have a huge amount of I've got a message to say. Whether people want to get their name on this list or not, I have to put this stuff out there. It's I guess you could say cathartic, and I would say I did a video recently about throwing away your TV, and I would say for me, YouTube's massively replaced television. But you do have to be worried, because there is, of course, an awful lot of an awful lot of mainstream rubbish on YouTube, as there is on almost as much as you see on TV. But it's good to have some of you guys tune in tonight. Right, the music's got another 50 seconds to play out, so I'll leave you listening to that. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Take care. Good night. Over and out.